Hey, this is Chris from Papershift, and I'm going to show you how to use the software for a customer service center. So with Papershift, you have different views. This is the planning view, but many customer service centers find it useful to look at a daily view where they can see who is on lunch break when, make sure they have enough people covering for every hour during the working day. So if you look here at the resource view day, you can see the shaded parts here are for breaks. So we can see here that we have enough people, or at least someone covering for each hour. And then we can also see who is absent. So here's an example account I've created. You can see the different working areas. I've created one for first level support, one for back office, and you can add other ones here. And we can see the shifts at different times. So we have the early, mid, and late shift. So with Papershift, you don't copy and paste your plan every week or create a new plan each week, although you can if you want. You can create a pattern which repeats, so it does the work for you. If we look here, for example, when I created this shift, I said this should be every Monday to Friday, and we need one person. And then when you're assigning the employees, you just click on the shift, you click on a person, and then you click this arrow to add them to that pattern. So Dave, for example, is working in this early shift, Monday to Friday each week. Now, if we go to the next week, which is blank, as a call center, for example, you may have different demands on different days, and you might not know in advance how many staff you need until a few days before, for example. So Papershift has an automatic assignment function where you can set for each time how many people you need. So for example, on Thursday, there might be higher demand in the early shift, so we need 2 people for that time. And then you can click here to do the automatic assignment. Select the various options to choose how the employees should be assigned. That takes 1 moment to load. And your plan is now complete. We can see there are a few shifts which still need to be filled, so then we can click on these and look who is available. So with Papershift, your planning is color-coded. If a shift is green, it means that that's fine, you're covered for that time. And if it's red, it means you still need to add someone to have the number of people that you've set as needed. You'll notice on the left-hand side, it's showing the number of hours per person for the week. It's automatically calculating that as they're added to the shifts. And you can set that for each person depending on their contract, if they're part-time or full-time. And then you can also set whether they are allowed to go over that or not. So a feature which a lot of customer service centers use is the reporting insights module, which allows you to report on any metric in Papershift. And an example here is the capacity required. So for first level support, you can plug into the system how many calls you expect to have each day, your forecast. And then Papershift will consider how many people you have working on those days, and then create a report which shows if you're over or under capacity. So we can see here, for example, that we're fine Monday to Friday, but then on Saturday, we don't have enough people for the number of calls, so we need to add someone to this shift. The next part I want to show you is the absences section. You'll notice these notifications here showing that employees are absent and the type of absence. And if you click here, you can see an absences calendar, which has an overview for each person when they're off absent. Now, you'll notice that some of them are green, some of them are orange. The orange absences are still pending, so each employee has their own Papershift login and they can request annual leave. To confirm that, you just click on it, and then you can click here to confirm, and then the employee's holiday is then in the system. and that's linked to the shift plan. So if they were in any shifts during that time period, they will have been taken out. The shifts will have gone red, and then you know that you need to assign somebody else. There's also the absences section here, which is an overview of absences for each person. And you can filter by employee or type, etc. The last part I want to show you is the timesheet section. Customer service centers normally use Papershift's time clock app. You download that onto a tablet, and then when employees arrive, they clock in, and when they leave, they clock out. And then that information is automatically compiled into this time tracking section. So you can see the hours that they've worked. If someone made a mistake, they forgot to clock out, you can then edit here. And you can also add a note to one of these if, for example, they were late or there was an issue on that particular shift. Now, to create your payroll report, if it's a simple case of people being paid per hour, or you need to check if people have done overtime, click on Employees, click on the name of the employee, and then on the Records section. Now this is automatically calculating the number of hours that someone has worked in a month. So Patrick, for example, has 11.5 planned hours. Now if someone's paid per hour, you can then just go to their record section at the end of the month, click here to export to Excel CSV and send that to the accountant. If they're on a salary but you need to keep track of their overtime, Papershift is running a current balance for each employee. So it's comparing their target hours with the number of hours that they have worked, and you know whether they have done overtime or if they're under, and then you can use that for your planning for the next weeks or months. If your payroll is more complicated and people are paid different rates depending on the time of day, if they do night shift, for example, then I recommend using the payroll module. That will automatically calculate what the pay should be for the month, and then create a report for each employee in the payroll section, which you can then export to various file formats, and that will have the report on their pay, which takes all of those overtime rates into consideration. So that's how you use Papershift for a customer service center's employee scheduling and time tracking. If you have any questions, feel free to get in touch anytime.